Olá, bom dia a todos e todas.
Hi, good morning, everyone. It's a great joy to be here with my colleagues, Janaz and Yana, so we can talk about a topic that's very relevant and dear to us. It's an urgent and transforming topic that is the presence of women in technology. So I think that you all share and agree with me. And I would like to talk about a very special initiative that we started. FEBRABAN got together with the banks and the trade unions so that we could create this initiative that is in motion and very successful to receive, scholarships for the training of women so that they can be trained and enter in our technology market. And this initiative has the participation, the active participation, both of Programaria that Iana Chance represents and Laboratória as well. And it's not a temporary partnership, it's a long-standing partnership, it's more of a commitment than a partnership. So I'm going to present Iana Chan, that is CEO and founder of Programaria, and Regina, that's the co-founder of Laboratória here in Brazil. And I'm going to ask you to receive both of them to address this topic. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to begin by talking about this topic and asking both of you to talk about the scholarship programs, how it works, and how women can participate. So you may begin describing and telling us how are these projects. I'm going to begin. Morning, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here, and I'm going to my audio description. I'm a Chinese woman, I'm 174. I have long black hair, and I'm wearing wine, black boots, and so on. So this partnership, Silvana, is very interesting to talk about, including at the FEBRABAN, and the banks have gone through several digital transformation. Everybody is talking about AI, technology, innovation, and we notice that at the same time there is a challenge in the digital transformation, the loss of the representativeness of women. And this was the trigger for this project. As companies hire more people in the IT, and there is still a challenge, and in Brazil is between 15 and 20%. There is a major inequality, and if you hire more technology people and the majority are men, we are reducing diversity inside the company. Moved by this, FEBRABAN, together with Contract, sought out our institutions how we can support and to contribute to a greater diversity. It is a very special year to Programaria. We celebrate our 10th anniversary, which is a journey. And so that we can look back and see the changes and see that there are many things to be done still. And in this project, more women IT. There are scholarship for women who, for those who don't know anything, so that women can see themselves, in technology. And inside this first phase, we have in this project 3,000 scholarships that can be distributed. We have distributed 2,000 scholarships. And this is not surprising because we knew about this demand, but the sensation of noticing the demand of women for these opportunities. In the first group that we started in March, we had 1,000 scholarships, and we have almost 10,000 enrollments. And this is a bittersweet sensation. Wonderful, this demand, and this shows what people are looking for and the interest of women to learn technology. And so we see that people, women don't go to technology because they don't like it. So we have more demand than supply. But anyway, this is a first step to continue transform the sector, having more women participating in the discussion to build the future that is already the present. Regina, good morning. Thank you, Silvana and FEBRABAN. Supplementing what Diana said, I agree. This initiative, and we expect that is a long-standing initiative, was a great success. It's a new initiative, but we are very pleased with the demand, with the interest, and supplementing. And Yana has already said most of it from the point of view of the formation of laboratoria. There are fewer, 100, but it's a more intensive course, 20 weeks. An indicator that we usually analyze and cheer to become a good indicator. It's not only a number, 10,000 women desiring not only changing career but growing in what they're doing, but it's very interesting. We want them to continue so that they could advance in the project and deliver it, so that they can at the end of the 20 weeks either to have the strength or the possibility of being promoted, moving forward, or change their careers. And we were very happy and surprised to say, although it's not a course very intensive, it's a new format, it's hybrid in terms of synchronous and asynchronous. We have a large number of women advancing in these projects. Today, we have 100 scholarships, but we have 200 students, and later on, some companies, and we have 160 women active, and there are girls delivering 4 projects, and we are very pleased. Now, taking upon what you're saying, indicators and everything, tell us a little bit some practical cases. And we say there are so many applications. We would like to meet more, but 3,000, it's a good number. We are pleased with it, and but also to make this, to materialize that, both of you could give us examples of practical cases of women and different profiles. There is a diversity of women profiles participating in this initiative. Give us some real life examples. Laboratoria has trained over 4,000 women in Latin America. The cases that we have represent the other 4,000. Many women who made a career transition that started in the technology market. And it's been 8 years we've been in Brazil. There are women that are outstanding in general, but they grew a lot. And today they give lectures such as this and represent other women. So we have in the data context, we have a good example that closes this cycle of, Yana said, of women that did not know the technology market. 2 years ago, we had an event in Recife. We conduct some events in the northeastern Brazil, and there was a woman, Vanessa, she's a teacher, and she wanted to switch careers. She went to the event. She met the technology market. We usually take benchmark women who are inspirational. She did the training of laboratory. She devoted herself for 6 months. We do our share, but many of the things that they advance depend on them. At the end of the course, she was hired by Bradesco in Recife. She moved from Salvador to Recife, and she's growing, and she's very pleased in Recife. In the last event we organized, she was one of the speakers in the Recife event. So this, you close the cycle of inspiration, the change in their lives, and what this represents to them. It's very nice to be able to tell stories. Sometimes, people only want to talk about big numbers, but I can speak in your behalf that when we meet these people, and that's what Regina has said, it depends on people's initiative, but sometimes they are hesitant. Is this for me? Am I going to succeed? It's too difficult when they have Preta Lab, Laboratoria, and many initiatives that support this journey. They feel, dear in their heart. They feel encouraged and take the risk. It's wonderful. They said they come back and say the step I gave in the past changed my life. I'm going to tell two stories. Ursula Ariel, she did this whole turn, and this is recurring. Women who participate in this initiative, they said it was difficult for me. I was supported, and I want to multiply this movement. And Ursula is a trans from Amapá, and I saw her 3 years ago. She participated in the Programaria event. It works in two fronts: the initial training, they are online, on distance, they are asynchronous, precisely to meet the needs of diversities. And we have the other front of events and actions that can support these women to create a support network. To be a woman in technology, it's a rush of obstacles. There's having people to exchange is really important. Ursula participated in one of these events. We are announcing the scholarships, and she said, "I'm going to try." She tried. She took a short course. It's between 15 and 30 hours. Within a week, she finished the course. She was highly engaged then. She registered for another training, and she was hired by Ambev, and she grew inside Ambev, and then she was able to unlock many things, and she came back to give a lecture. And we have an initiative for trans women. It's called Progamona, and she's one of the speakers we are going to bring to inspire others. It's wonderful to see that this journey is possible. There are challenges, obviously. Another example is Dailene. She took the course when it was in person. We migrated during the pandemic. Dailene started with us, and she had two kids. She studied, devoted herself today, the CIO of Nico's investment. And we say how wonderful to see women reaching the top, growing their career.
It's very good to see these types of examples. They inspire and give us strength to keep on doing this, and it helps all women. But we know that there are many obstacles. Otherwise, we have more women present. Just to show you some data, we know that, for example, from IBGE, when we look at women in STEM, the exact sciences fields, in 2012, we had 23.2% of women. In 2022, we have 22%. So the number dropped. So what happened? Well, we have pandemic and a number of other issues. However, in IT, in banks, over the last 10 years, this increase more than 120%. I think we can do much more. I don't take the responsibility from the banks to do better, but in Bradesco specifically, in the areas that are not just technology, we have data, risk, we have about 30%, and we have been working hard to increase that. But I offer this context to ask you, what are the obstacles? You who work with the women and understand their realities, what are the obstacles? Where are they? What's your opinion, and what else we can do? How to work these situations? I think the obstacle race is a very good metaphor because it begins when the mother is pregnant. I think, is it a girl, is a boy, at the reveal party. So the path is decided. We have the professions that are expected and stimuli and other social expectations. So there is a issue of before the imagination. So think about someone that works with programming. We don't think about a woman, a black woman, a trans woman. We usually think about cis white men, hetero. But there is this stereotype because the inequality is there. So the first issue is, how can we fight against this narrative and show that there are a lot of women that do technology? The first person who wrote an algorithm was a woman. This is the first obstacle, representativity. But not just that. That's not the only thing that needs to be solved. Someone that is educated, that has the family, they encourage the building blocks, that gave the computer, study robotics at school, that had access and structure. When she arrives in the work market, she finds other challenges. At university, they find other challenges. It's a society that is male-oriented. So we have all those micro-violences in daily life that makes it a hostile environment. And then the evasion rates for this field, it's higher than the women. Not to talk about maternity, other challenges that will appear in a woman's life. So when we talk about, I'm happy that our men listening to us, because the issues, it's for everybody, not just women's. We want to live in a society that is inclusive and diverse, and where everybody has access to opportunities. This is a work for everyone. So it's active work, and how can we reduce the behavior and how to eliminate these behaviors that make the environment hostile for women. And I will give I'm not saying much because I'll give the word to my colleague. She has her own point of view and a positive point of view. And I will hook that to other parts. And we see increase in some fields, and we've seen advances. And a few of them are our initiatives, such as ours, initiative by organizations and companies that were advancements. A subject that just by being discussed is an improvement. Why do we have less women? What we can do, and so on. But there's a challenge. We had a survey with McKinsey Lab that reflects these numbers. The numbers are difficult to be collected, but it's always around 20 to 30%. And it's a persistent challenge. It's a challenge that if you don't have continuity and intention, it gets worse. So we talk a lot about we cannot step back. We have to keep moving forward. And we have to keep the initiatives happening. And we believe that more than ever, because we have the AI context. We have the context where that not only women need to get into the workplace, that they need to train and graduate and have technological training, but the women where they are placed. And that's why this project is so relevant with FEBRABAN and Transforma. the position that they are, they need to continue to develop their digital skills so they can grow. And if they don't do anything, they will get left behind. Anyone gets left behind if they don't continue to train. And we consider that, yes, there were advances. And I like to reinforce how important pioneering actions are. For example, Programa Maria, that has been in the field for 10 years. Laboratoria has 11 years. In Brazil, 8, because they are organizations that inspired other organizations, and this is a subject that is being discussed. But what we say the most is how important never stopping. Because if we stop and don't keep the intention, things get worse. And women will once again get left behind in a market that continues to evolve. They have new technologies, they have AI, they need to develop, people need to develop new skills for data. Today we use data for everything. In the program for Laboratoria, a lot of women that are in the market, that are working in banks, they are here, I'm fine, but I feel that if I don't go after things, I won't grow. I believe that, yes, that we have developments, but we need it more than ever. And again, talking about what you mentioned, we talked about a practical example of Vanessa. Women that take part in the program, they come from a background with very little opportunity, or think that they can get into that. And I would like you to comment a little bit of this role of changing the mindset, a social change even, that they go through, this transformation that they go through in their profile, in their will to make changes, and that you are able to offer over this journey that they have with you. When we ask and survey people in Laboratoria after they finish their training, how did it go? How are you? When we ask, what's your main obstacle? Many say, I'm my main obstacle. So changing the mindset is an extremely important step. And our focus is a free program. We have women that had less access to opportunities because either they didn't know, or many times they would like to have studied technology, but it didn't happen. They couldn't go to university, or they couldn't complete university, and they had to prioritize getting to work. And the cool thing about technology and these programs is that it's more flexible. It makes it possible. Even those women that didn't have as many opportunities access content, and they begin to learn. Even from other careers. So we have a lot of women that are graduated in other careers, and they start learning these skills. And this makes it possible to have changes that are amazing in their lives. Because technology, the market changed some over the last 2 years or so. Things are adjusting still, but it's still a career that pays well, that offers growth, offers possibility, is very broad. So within technology, that's why it's very difficult to get numbers. It's very broad. You have data, you have programming, you have infrastructure, you have a lot that could give opportunities for change, real opportunities for change in their lives, which are relevant changes. And Iana, you had podcasts together. We've talked before. You mentioned a lot about representativeness. Of course, this is not the only tool, but it's an important tool. Being able to see themselves in other women, having inspiration, being able to see themselves in other people. Tell us a little bit about that. And with the example of this lady that is in Ambev and stayed, What, as well as representativeness, can help someone to continue and be successful and see themselves in that position? What can we use to leverage the women's career and stay there? I think it's a little bit related. It's funny because we received the testimonials of people saying, I didn't think I had a place, or it wasn't something for me. And we know that things get added, and technology is very dynamic. As every time we have something new, and we have to race after all the new things. And we have the use of with the generative AI, and there is a discrimination. So there's a lag where women don't use Gen AI as much. If they say, "Oh, that's new thing, it's difficult. I won't do it. I will see later." While men are already learning, studying, being curious. So, and women have the opportunity. They need to learn to use it. It's not going to explode. Go, be curious. Try it. Nothing is going to be bad. It's a challenge that we need to understand the social environmental impact of generative AI. Inclusive, and we have another side discussion that is very involved with everything, is the algorithm bias. How the technologies are not neutral. On the other hand, they can reinforce inequality. So that's another reason why it's important to have women involved. For women to be able to see themselves, could I be a woman leading in generative AI? And we have China with DeepSeek. It was a woman, a woman engineer as a leader. So showing these examples make it possible. Make them think, if there's a woman there, maybe I can. It's possible for me too. This environment is also for me. And this brought the impact to Ursula. That was the first step. I will try the scholarship, and I'm going to try, when she got the scholarship, I'll try the course. And when she finished the course, she kept working the self-confidence, and you start to see that it's not a challenge for women. It's a challenge for women because of the environment. How can I see myself being a technology leader if I don't see anyone else there? So you can see that the challenges are all connected. You have either or. And so closing what I was saying, what do we need to do? And I think Regina was perfect when she talked about intention. To realize, as Einstein used to say, we cannot do the same thing over and over and expect different results. We have to put effort, resources, time, and hire more people so that we don't stop. We cannot stand still. We have to yearn for growth and desire new positions, and the environment is essential for that. What's the culture in your company then? When a woman takes part in a meeting in a technology, how do they feel? Is the data given in the same way? And the study shows that in many times the promotions get the least number of promotions. So we need to rethink that and understand individually. I deeply believe in that individually we can have system changes. Collectively, we can do individually, have systemic changes. So we ask with what each person here can do to change the context and transform the technological environments to make it more favorable and inclusive for everyone. I could go on for a long time talking about this. This is very inspiring and rich. So I'd like to have a final comment to each of you, because this subject is amazing. There's a lot that can be done. So I will ask you, before I finalize the panel, first Regina, then Yana. As well as thanking, I would like to broaden view of Laboratória. We want a technological world, but in an inclusive universe. And we live in a country, in a region, Latin American Laboratória, that is very unequal. with a lot of women still unemployed in sub-jobs, with suffering inequality, inequality that is massive. So we need to use technology for this. That's it. I would like to repeat our vision to reduce the inequality. There's another place that we have been insisting in Programaria is to understand technology as a tool. And if it's a tool, it's to build something. And our argument is that technology be used to build better worlds, better futures. We are living very difficult moments with climate change, uncertainty in politics, something that stops us dreaming. It's the end of the world. The apocalypse, call me after the end of the world and we can see what happens. No, how can we think about and build this world? It's whoever works with social impact to be a little bit utopic. We have to be. Utopia moves us, and we can put ourselves in the construction of what we believe. I would like to thank everyone for watching and for the invitation, and you for your moderation. And I would like to compliment, to finalize the panel. This discussion was excellent, and there's something that I'd like to say. I have my team, Jackie, leading our diversity and inclusion in our company, and we always say that diversity is not just diversity. We have to take care with inclusion, opportunities, but beyond that, being a social issue and justice, it's a business imperative. This generates results. When we have many different points of views, different profiles within our organization that think differently and act differently, that bring different perspectives, this brings innovation, this brings culture, a pleasant environment where everybody feels happier, where they have their potential increased and their skills are potentialized, and in the end, brings more results. So this is business. In the end, results and ROI, not just for the organization, but the sector as a whole. When you think about banking and finance as a whole, we can only win and have a success if we do this. If we think just strictly about that, as financial institutions that we are, it's good for everybody. So from any point of view that you look at it, we need to work towards that. So I'd like to thank you so much. It's a great pleasure to be here with you. We are always together, working together, talking, thinking on how we can do more. And I'd like to thank the audience that listened and took part in our conversation.